All right, I'm back. And we are going on our lecture with vertebrates. Now, in the previous lecture, we have seen the first group of animals, and now we will look at vertebrates, the second group. And in vertebrates, we are also going to look some a little bit of biology of human. All right, vertebrates. What are they? Half a billion years of backbone. So backbone animals with backbone are present on the Earth like half a billion years. Early in the Cambrian period, about 530 million years ago, a variety of invertebrate animals inhabited Earth's oceans. One type of animal gave rise to vertebrates, one of the most successful group of animals. The animals called vertebrates get their name from vertebrae, which means the series of bone that make up backbone. All right, these are one of the first known vertebrate fossils. One lineage of vertebrates colonized land 365 million years ago. There are about 52,000 species of vertebrates, including the largest organisms ever to live on the Earth. Vertebrates have great disparity, a wide range of differences within the group. Chordates have a notochord and dorsal, which is a dorsal hollow nerve cord. Chordates, which is phylum Chordata, evet mikrofonum kapalıymış ve kimse söylemedi. Neyse şeyden bakarsınız. Sonra izleyeceğinizde YouTube'dan izlersiniz. Chordates have a notochord and dorsal hollow nerve cord, and chordates are bilateral animals that belong to clade of animals known as Deuterostomia. Chordates comprise vertebrates, two group of invertebrates, urochordates and cephalochordates. These are the vertebrate species you can see. These two are not, or chordates. These are chordates. This is not. These are the groups of chordates that you can see. Basically, lung derivatives are found starting from actinopterygii, and lobe fins are seen in Actinistia, and then limbs with digits are seen in Classis Amphibia, Reptilia, and Mammals. So what are the derived characteristics of chordates? Let's look at that. Some species have some of these traits only during embryonic development. Four key characteristics: notochord, dorsal hollow nerve cord, pharyngeal slits and clefts, muscular postanal tail, which we can see in this picture. You can see this picture in your books. Notochord, what does it mean? Notochord is a longitudinal flexible rod between the digestive tube and nerve cord. Notochord provides a skeletal support through most of the length of chordates. In most vertebrates, a more complex jointed skeleton develops, and adult retains only remnants of embryonic notochord. The nerve cord of chordate embryo develops from a plate of ectoderm that rolls into tube dorsal to the notochord. The nerve cord develops into the canal nervous system, into the central nervous system, which is the brain and spinal cord. So when we say central nervous system, that means brain and spinal cord. Craniates are another group. Craniates is a subgroup of chordates, and they are chordates which have a head. The origin of head enabled chordates to coordinate more complex movement and feeding behaviors. Craniates share some characteristics like a skull, brain, eyes, and other sensory organs. Vertebrates are craniates that have backbone. During Cambrian period, a lineage of craniates evolved into vertebrates. Vertebrates become more efficient for capturing food and avoiding being eaten. Derived characteristics of vertebrates. Vertebrates underwent a second gene duplication involving the DLX family of transcription factors. Vertebrates have the following derived characteristics: vertebrae enclosing a spinal cord, an elaborate skull, fin rays in the aquatic forms. So these are characteristics of vertebrates. Now, vertebrates are divided into two superclasses. Superclasses Pisces and superclasses Tetrapoda. Pisces are fishes. And Pisces are divided into two classes, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. These are examples of Pisces. Sharks are a group in the Pisces. They can be oviparous or ovoviviparous or viviparous. Oviparous means eggs hatch outside the mother's body. Ovoviviparous means embryo develops within the uterus and is nourished by egg yolk. And viviparous means embryo develops within the uterus and nourished by yolk sac placenta from mother's blood. Superclasses Tetrapoda. Tetrapods are gnatostomes that have limbs. One of the most significant events in vertebrate history was the fins of some lobe fins evolve into limbs and feet of tetrapods. What are the right characteristics of tetrapods? They have adaptations, specific adaptations. 1, 4 limbs and feet with digits. 2, a neck which allows separate movement of the head. And 3, fusion of pelvic girdle to the backbone. And then the absence of gills. There is no gills in tetrapods, except for some aquatic species. Ears to detect airborne sounds. In superclasses Tetrapoda, there are 4 classes. The first one is Amphibia, second one is Reptilia, third one is Aves, which is birds, and fourth one is Mammalia. Let's look at the first classes, Amphibia. Amphibia means both ways of life, referring to the metamorphosis of an aquatic larva into terrestrial adults. Most amphibians have moist skin that complements the lungs in gas exchange. Amphibians are represented about 6,150 species. There are a few orders under the class Amphibia. The first one is Urodela. Urodela includes salamanders which have tails. Order Anura, the second order, includes frogs and toads which lack tails. And order Apoda includes the amphibians which are legless, which lacks the legs and resemble worms. All right, these are examples for the amphibians. Urodela, amphibians with tail. Anura, frogs, and apoda, which looks like worms. Fertilization is external in most species of uh, what amphibians. In some species, males or females care for eggs on their back, in their mouth, or in their stomach. So this is a larva, which is called tadpole for amphibians. And this is during metamorphosis. And these are mating adults. Amniotes are tetrapods that have terrestrial adapted eggs. So we finished the amphibians. Now we are looking reptiles, birds, and mammals. Those three groups are classified under the clade amniotes. Amniotes are a group of tetrapods whose living members are reptiles, including birds and mammals. Reptiles, birds, and mammals. So these are amniotes. Derived characteristics of amniotes. They are named for major derived character of the clade amniotic egg. Amnion is a membraneous membranes that protect the embryo. The extraembryonic membranes are amnion, chorion, and yolk sac, and allantois. You can see those parts in this picture. Amniotic eggs of most reptiles and some mammals have a shell. Amniotes have other terrestrial adaptations such as relatively impermeable skin and the ability to use rib cage to ventilate the lungs. Classis Reptilia. Let's look some more details about Classis Reptilia. The reptile clade includes the tauters, lizards, snakes, turtles, crocodiles, birds, and some extinct groups. So birds are classified under Reptilia. Reptiles have scales that create waterproof barrier. Most reptiles lay shelled eggs on land. Right. Most reptiles are ectothermic, which means they absorb external heat as main source of body heat. Birds are endothermic, capable of keeping body warm through metabolism. All right, in this picture you can see different groups of reptiles. Classis Aves. Birds are anchors, but almost every feature of their reptilian anatomy has undergone modification in their adaptation to flight. Derived characteristics of birds are many characters of birds are adaptations that facilitate flight. The major adaptation is wing with keratin feathers, and other adaptations include lack of urinary bladder, females with only one ovary, small glands, and loss of teeth. Flight enhances hunting, scavenging, escape from terrestrial predators, and migration. Flight requires great expenditure of energy, acute vision, and fine muscular control. As you can see in this picture, there are important adaptations of birds for flight. Different bird species. Classis Mammalia. Mammals are amniotes that have hair and produce milk. Mammals, Classis Mammalia, are represented by more than 5,300 species. Mammals have mammary glands which produce milk, hair, a high metabolic rate due to endothermy, a larger brain than other vertebrates of equivalent size. And another important feature of mammalians, differentiated teeth. Primates, order Primata, a group under Classis Mammalia. The mammalian order Primata includes lemurs, tarsiers, monkeys, and apes. Humans are members of the ape group. Most primates have hands and feet adapted for grasping and flat nails. Other derived characteristics of primates are a larger brain and short jaws, forward-looking eyes close together on the face, providing depth perception, complex social behavior, and parental care, a fully opposable thumb in monkeys and apes. Living primates. Which primates exist today? There are three main groups of living primates: lemurs, lorises, and pothos. Tarsiers and anthropoids, monkeys and apes. The oldest known anthropoid fossils, about 45 million years old, indicate that tarsiers are more closely related to anthropoids than to lemurs. The first monkeys evolved in Old World Africa, Old World, which means Africa and Asia, and in the New World, South America, monkeys first appear roughly 25 million years ago. New World and Old World monkeys underwent separate adaptive radiations during many million years of separation. The other group of anthropoids consists of primates, informally called apes. This group includes gibbons, orangutans, gorillas, chimpanzees, baboons, and humans. Apes diverged from Old World monkeys about 20 to 25 million years ago. Humans are mammals that have large brain and bipedal locomotion. The species human is about 200,000 years old, which is very young considering that life has existed on the Earth for at least 3.5 billion years. Derived characteristics of humans are a number of characters, an upright posture and bipedal locomotion, larger brains capable of language, symbolic thought, artistic expression, and the manufacture and use of complex tools, reduced jaw bones and jaw muscles, and shorter digestive tract. The human and chimpanzee genomes are 99% identical. Changes in regulatory genes can have larger effects. The earliest hominins, the study of human origins, is known as paleoanthropology. Hominins, formerly called hominids, are more closely related to humans than chimpanzees. Paleoanthropologists have discovered fossils of about 20 species of extinct hominins. Hominins originated in Africa about 6 to 7 million years ago. Early hominins show evidence of small brains and increasing bipedalism. There is a misconception that is early hominins were chimpanzees. That's not true. Correction, hominins and chimpanzees shared a common ancestor. Another misconception, human evolution is like a ladder leading directly to Homo sapiens, and its correction is hominin evolution included many branches or coexisting species through only humans survived today. Examples of hominins, the first one is Australopiths. Australopiths are paraphyletic assemblage of hominins living between 4 and 2 million years ago. Some species, such as Australopithecus afarensis, walked fully erect. And bipedalism is another important feature. Hominins began to walk long distances on two legs about 1.9 million years ago. The oldest evidence of tool use, cut marks on animal bones, is 2.5 million years ago. an early Homo, our genus. The earliest fossils placed in our genus Homo are those Homo habilis, ranging in age from 2.4 to 1.6 million years ago. Stone tools have been found with Homo habilis, giving the species its name, which means handy man. Homo ergaster was the first fully bipedal, large-brained hominid. The species existed between 1.9 and 1.5 million years ago. Homo ergaster shows a significant decrease in sexual dimorphism, a size difference between sexes compared with its ancestors. Homo ergaster fossils have previously assigned to Homo erectus, but paleontologists now recognize these as a separate species. Homo erectus originated in Africa by 1.8 million years ago. It was the first hominin to leave Africa, Homo erectus. Neanderthals, or Homo neanderthalensis, lived in Europe and Near East from 350,000 years to 28,000 years ago. They were thick-boned with large brain. They brewed their dead and they made hunting tools. Debate is ongoing about the extent of which genetic material was exchanged between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens, so our species. Homo sapiens appeared in Africa by 195,000 years ago. All living humans are descendants of these African ancestors. The oldest fossils of Homo sapiens outside Africa date back about 1500 years, and they are from the Middle East. Humans first arrived in the New World sometime between 15,000 years ago. In 2004, 18,000 years old fossils were found in Indonesia, and a new small hominins was named Homo florensis. Homo sapiens were the first group to show evidence of symbolic and sophisticated thought. In 2002, a 77,000 years old artistic engravings was found in South Africa. Right. Any questions about vertebrates?